Hi, my name is Kai Yi Wong Kai Yi, or you can just call me Kai. I do it pretty different way this time. So I decided to use my Insta story archive to show my past 2 years experience in the UK. So let's roll. So this is the first day I arrived in the UK. So everything is new, so nice, beautiful, everything's beautiful. So on the second day, I started to explore Sheffield town. It's a very beautiful town. I really love it, and yeah, still getting used to their weather and whatnot. And this is where I go to class. It's called Art Tower, and they have a really interesting lift. They call it Paternoster lift. If you're lucky enough, they have a kind of like orchestral performance that going on throughout the lift. They will just stand inside and just play songs. And what I like about Sheffield is, to be fair, I'm not representing everyone who's studying overseas. I'm just saying in the point of view of mine, studying in University of Sheffield as a Malaysian. Okay. So this is the workshop. I quite like Sheffield is because the workshop is very accessible. So you can, after the induction, you can actually use almost all the what do you call that, the machines, including laser cutting, some really extreme kind of, I don't know what you call CNC stuff. Yeah, and then we did quite a lot of models as well. Yeah, and then the first project we did is called Life Project. It is actually a group of 12 that comprises of 3 Master of Architecture students, and then 3 landscape students, and 3 math students. So basically we have 12 to 13 person in the group. And then we have real clients, so we need to talk to real clients. We have to go out to talk to the public and see what kind of project, and also we have to form the brief itself. So we basically have to advise him and tell him what's the best solution. For this project, client is actually the city council of Gloucester, which is a small town. So the thing is, the original proposal is want to revitalize one of the a church building. It's pretty abandoned, but at the end the solution is actually much bigger than that. It's actually like a entire town intervention. So it's very interesting. So we got to talk to a lot the publics. We have to go to pubs. We have to go to different places to talk to people, train station and whatnot. And then and this kind of installation we have to build to during the exhibition, so that how it helps us to to interact with people, so get their attention and let them feel and touch the things that we're trying to convey. And also, studying in UK in general, I would say there's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of drinking going on. So everything, after every presentation, after every review or submission, we have everyone just go to drinks. And also during free time. Actually, it's not a lot of free time, just the first year of master. We actually got a little bit of free time during the life project. And then we got to explore the town and then see alpaca, go to farms and stuff. And then this is Sheffield. Yeah, I got to travel, I got to see the town properly after the life project, because during life project is so busy. Almost every day we have to work until, let's say, 9-ish. So it's pretty intense. And then apart from that, I actually, because we have several optional modules you could choose from, so I picked the parametric. Yeah, so this is the stuff that I did, and this is eventually going to fit into my studio, the design studio. So we have about 2-3 weeks to break, but during the break you can't actually have too much fun, because there's a lot of assignments to do. So I just went to the Scotland, Edinburgh, I think. Yeah, it's Edinburgh, to have a short trip before the disaster began. And then for the studio trip, we actually been to Bauhaus in Dessau in Germany. So we kind of have to mingle ourselves with the student in Bauhaus. We have to present our work. We have to talk to them. We have to share our opinion and stuff. And also we got to see their work. And they say UK is really conceptual and stuff, but you see in Germany, in Bauhaus in particular, you can see like this is the architecture school, but you can see there's nothing architecture about here. It's all about like gadgets, all about new innovations. It's really interesting to see how different schools have different approach. That is fun. And we actually had a lot of fun. Like because we thought it's going to be like we're going to have really serious conversation, but actually that's not the case. We just be there and have fun and just talk a bit about our stuff and present our stuff, and that's it. And also we actually walk around the town and again, a lot of things involved. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a bit about the design studio. This is the first year of my master. So the theme of the studio is called Play. So we started with a really playful methodology. So how I started is with this called creative survey. Is how because the objective is to extract information from the public. But whereas we have no idea what kind of information we have to extract. So I actually did this kind of social experiment to test how people willing to help. Given that I'm a stranger with blindfolded, like what the heck is this guy going to do? Like it's a pretty weird thing. And then this is what I do. It's like I just stand there carrying this kind of sign board, and then people just approach me and like talk to me and what I want to do. So the mission is actually to talk to people, of course, and also ask them to bring me from the current location where I'm standing to the next location where I pointed them to. So along the journey, I would talk to them. We're still blindfolded, so I have no idea who they are, and I just talk to them to find out who they are and why they really need help and stuff like that. What is the takeaway from this kind of whole experiment is to actually bring up the concept of the design studio. The concept of the design project of mine is actually to test out the senses, because from the experiment I realized that when one band is suppressed, the others sort of elevated. So the project is actually located in Belgrade, very much like Malaysia, very multicultural, really biodiversity, multicultural, all really not messy, really vibrant, really loud, the streets. So I kind of like want to do something like really interesting. Same like Malaysia, I always like food, so I use food as catalyst to bring up the culture of the site, to actually bring together all different races, all religion, from a wider perspective, from wider context of the entire Sheffield. And yeah, I did really conceptual stuff at the beginning. It's like putting up drawings that I have no idea what kind of space that would be. But I know I'm going to do something like cultural collation and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we also really encouraged to do models, a lot of models. I actually did some marshmallow models because the theme is food. The program is about food. So I try to use a different food to actually bring out the idea of different senses. Let's say from this project you can see there's a lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of corners, hidden corners that wanted to be explored, so that the spaces is designed to be really complicated, really it's like a labyrinth, like a maze. So one could easily find their way, because that's the thinking behind it. And yeah, you have to lead by the lights, the neon lights, the smell of the food, the chattering of the people, the clanking of the pots and stuff like that. So it's pretty much all about senses. And this is a section, and then the way we presented is quite different from I did previously in UCSI, because I Actually, there's more freedom in terms of presentation, because I actually use a really narrative kind of presentation towards the end. I use a comic kind of representation to convey the idea of the spaces, rather than just say, oh yeah, this is dining hall, this is a dining arcade, common kitchen stuff. I actually use a different kind of different person's perspective that circulate inside the building. So I think it's more lively, I guess. Yeah. So basically, this is how we usually do our presentation. Before the final, we have the review. We have like a review almost once every 3 weeks, and basically we have to give opinions, we have to give advice, we have to give a point of view for every review for everyone. We can't just sit there and just be quiet, because the lecturer or the tutor wouldn't speak up until everyone speaks up. So we got to voice up. Even though you have no idea, you have nothing to say, you still have to say something. I think it's a really good approach to actually train everyone to be able to speak up, because I think that's a really big part of architecture. Because in practice or whatever you're going to do in the future, you have to you still have to communicate with everyone in any way possible. And then so yeah, we usually use screens for our presentation for the review, but for the final, we have a wall to put out our boards, and also 2 screens or 1 screen, or we prefer 2 is fine, for our presentation for the final grade. And this is the second year of the live project. So again, I did a lot of woodwork, and also I also became the driver of the studio of the team, because I'm the only one who could drive. Yeah, and also Malaysians can actually use our Malaysian license to actually drive around in the UK, so it's pretty cool. And this is a team. We actually have pretty good relationship between the team, because we got to stick together, and we even celebrate everyone's birthday. We have potluck, and then we have laser class every 2 weeks with the other team. So it's pretty fun. Yeah. So at the end of the live project, we have to actually present our idea and our solution to our client in front of the entire MH and MAD and landscape students and their respective clients. So you have to present in front of 300 people. So it's pretty nervous, and I did the presentation for this live project. And apart from that, during our summer break, we need to do a dissertation. It actually started from the first year and then carried forward to the second year, early second year that we have to submit. Before the studio started, a few of my friends and I actually participated a competition, and it is a rather hectic decision, because we don't actually have enough time to do the work, but we just say, okay, we just give it a go and try, see how it goes. And it turns out quite okay, but it's really draining, because we have to work in the studio for the live project until earliest at 6, latest at 8 or 9-ish. We have to leave our studio, and we have to leave our tower, and then we have to gather again at my place, and then start working on the competition stuff until 1 or 2. Yeah, and then this is actually the beginning of the design studio. This year is really interesting, because the theme of the studio is called Mobile Studio. It's actually, the idea is to bring the studio mobile, so that you could travel throughout the UK. And you can see we actually built the interior of the van, and you see eat porridge, pretty sad. We actually built all the interiors, because we need to have our meals inside the van, and also all the luggages have to, a place for us to gather and discuss things. Yeah, so we travel from Sheffield all the way up north to the Scotland, Orkney. If you haven't heard of it, it's the northern part of the UK. And yeah, because the idea is actually throughout the journey, you have to find something interesting, something that could spark you to actually drive the project. So for me, I actually quite interested for wind turbine, because in Malaysia we have no wind turbine. So when I first saw wind turbine, I'm so super excited because it's really beautiful. So I started to look into more about energy, how clean energy is the main thing of the future. So for this year, I actually did a joint thesis project, which means I got to partner with someone else for my final. It's called Vicky. It's another part of me being the project. She's really the opposite of me. So this is actually the project. I just keep it short. So it's energy proposal. It's all about speculating the future, how we can use clean energy to replace fossil fuel, and how this big topic could fit into how architecture plays a role within this large picture. So basically, we did a lot of research, a lot of narrative, a lot of speculation of how the future could be, and different outcomes if we do things right or we do things wrong, blah blah blah. And basically, this is our proposal in a really large scale, like urban planning throughout the harbor. Yeah, the site has to be along the way that we travel. So because we got two people in the group, so we opt for a bigger site, and this is a really interesting site because it's a harbor in Aberdeen, and this is kind of a drawings that we did. This is kind of a drawing that I don't usually do back in the days, because I try to push the norm that produce drawings that could, not just beautiful, but also show the concept rather than just showing the space. Because from here, the main thing is to show how different programs could actually put together by putting connections, but also the similarity of language that could tie everything together. Yeah, I think the tutor actually give a lot of advice that we do such things. We still need to justify ourselves why we have to do stuff, in this organic shape, given that it's a bit contradictory to our concept, because we want clean energy, blah blah, and building such fancy stuff, you say, could be energy consuming. We actually did a lot of research on how to build things, and also we did NPL constructions and all sorts of site modules to actually fit into this. You can see the earlier concept drawings and some research of typologies of Parliament Hall, and also some technical stuff down here. We decided to do a really funky kind of graphics at the end, because the idea is not because the stuff that we do, we know that it's not going to be built ever. But the thing is that we try to provoke the idea of the funness of architecture, and also the because when we say architecture, usually it is so solemn, it is so serious, it is so formal, because we try to break the boundary, break the paradigm of being so formal all the time. So we try to, because the concept itself is really casual. It's really, you can see plants inside the building with the stock market, but in this case, energy market. So we try to bring the casualness and randomness into the architecture. But let's say you look back to 1950s, you don't understand why people dress like that. You can't actually foresee the future that is exactly going to be like now. So we kind of speculate that the future is pretty far from now. It's so different from now. Sadly, this year we got no wall. We have to do everything virtually. We have to, so we don't have a physical wall to pin out our stuff, but we still have a wall here. So basically, this is everything that we did for the final year. Yeah.